the man who tried to rewrite America's future and almost got away with it. This story was buried for almost 70 years. It's a piece of American history so strange that some people said it never happened, until one dusty file was discovered in a small-town courthouse in Ohio. You've heard of people trying to change the world, but what if I told you one man, back in 1955, tried to change the country's memory itself? And here's the chilling part. His plan almost worked. This is the story of Franklin Ward, the man who wanted to rewrite America, one lie at a time. Franklin Ward was charming, educated, and always dressed like he had a meeting with destiny. On the surface, he ran a printing business in Chicago. But behind closed doors, he was producing something far more dangerous. Forged government records that looked so real, even officials couldn't tell the difference. He didn't want money. No, he wanted to reshape stories, events, people, timelines, so that future generations would believe his version of the truth. It began with newspapers. He printed false headlines, rewrote public archives, and slipped them into real collections. By the time anyone noticed, history itself was bending around his lies. In 1958, a small-town librarian named Eleanor Brooks discovered two copies of the same city record. One saying a fire destroyed a courthouse, another saying it never happened. She started asking questions. The deeper she went, the more copies she found. And every one of them pointed to Franklin's workshop. When she finally confronted him, he smiled and said something that still gives historians chills. The truth is just another version of a story that won. Weeks later, Franklin disappeared. His shop was emptied overnight, his ledgers burned. The police called it an economic fraud, but insiders knew this was no ordinary scam. It was a rewrite of the past itself. In the late 70s, long after Franklin vanished, a box of real tapes surfaced during an estate sale in Detroit. The recordings were dated 1956 to 1958, right during his operation. On one tape, Franklin's voice calmly says, "If you control what people remember, you control what they believe." The government reportedly took the tapes, labeling them as historical property. But only one tape has ever been made public. The rest? Locked away. Nobody knows why. Here's where the story turns from strange to unbelievable. Years later, a few journalists uncovered that Franklin's forged records ended up influencing several real legal cases in the early 1960s, ones that reshaped how the public saw political figures. Some believe his work changed how certain events were remembered, twisting timelines, hiding facts, and creating confusion that lasted decades. Rumor has it, one famous businessman turned political figure years later studied Franklin's psychological tactics. He once said, "Perception beats reality." Now people wonder, was he talking about Franklin Ward's forgotten experiment? Franklin was never caught. No official record says what happened to him. But historians agree. Whoever he was, he proved something terrifying. That truth can be rewritten quietly, not by force, but by belief. And if you think that can't happen again, look around. Stories shape nations, and someone, somewhere, might already be writing the next version. I'm not saying Franklin Ward changed America. I'm just saying, maybe America never changed back.